Okay. Uh, Let us start on week 2 of our module 11. So let me share with you our
Mm.
PowerPoint. Actually, this lesson for today is a means to guide you in preparation of your own research paper. Where is it? Can you see it now?
Not yet.
Okay. Can everybody see the PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is writing a research paper. This will be your guide as you make your own group research paper. No? Okay. What are the reasons for research? So basically, if you have run down the presentation when I sent it to you last night, these are the basic questions or basic components of the research work. So on slide 1, the reasons for research, these are what we call the whys and wherefores of research. When we say whys and wherefores, look at the first definition. Oh, I mean, look at the first reason. So it answers a specific question on how. So aside from how, it will also answer the question why something has happened, how something works, or how do we go about the, the discussion or learning new things. The next one is to explore a topic that is particularly interesting. So it can be about a person, it answers the question who or what when it deals with some facts or other related researches. Then another reason is to share a newfound knowledge with others. And the last one is to strengthen one's researching, writing, and analytical skills. Okay, let's discuss the third definition. What newfound knowledge are you going to share? When we discussed last week, conducting a research can be starting with a new or a fresh topic or making um, another research with the past researches as our reference, right? So this newfound knowledge doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a fresh idea, it has to be a fresh topic, but it can be in relation to a past research that was conducted. Okay, and then the last one, well, why do we need to strengthen our research, writing, and analytical skills? So let us for a fact we can say that when you do one research work in high school, this is very basic, okay? And then another requirement in college before you graduate is also another research based on your different professions. Now, it doesn't stop from doing all these required researches. So as we go along with our profession, with our career, as we go along with our our intention to improve our craft, we also conduct some necessary researches. And for some people, it has become a career also. Okay? Do you agree? It has become a career. Like for sciences, they keep on researching for some things that will prove some facts that have not been proven before, or some facts that they would like uh, to uh, what is that word? I forgot. Some facts that they would like to strengthen, or some scientific inventions that they would like to pursue in the future as well. Okay, so these are the steps of the writing process. Actually, I have shared with you a worksheet last week. No, we can follow that worksheet. So these are the basic ones. So you choose a topic. So later on, we will use the worksheet, no, to conduct these steps. And then plan and schedule time to research and write. So since you are grouped and you are you won't be able to really conduct researches together, or I mean face to face, so it will be a different setting for it. It will be a different setting for everyone, and likewise you need to spend the time when everyone is free, so you are able to brainstorm your ideas. Okay. Number 3 is to conduct research. Number 4, organize research areas. So as I've mentioned earlier, last week, we can have consultations. So let's just schedule whatever, who's this? Sorry. Let us just schedule, wait just for a moment. Someone is joining. Let me join directly. Who's Yoni?
Ayun.
Yeah, just one moment. Mhm. Okay. So, welcome, Ayoni. Okay na?
Hello. Hi.
Good morning.
Finally.
Yan.
Thank
Not
you.
so late. Not so late naman.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Let us continue. Share screen again. Okay. As I was saying, because you are not within, your locations are not within the vicinity, it may be a little harder for you to conduct your research, but for as long as you're going to give time, everyone has to be available. This will be easier for you, and I will be available too for consultations. Okay. Then number 5 is draft your paper. And the sixth one is revise and edit your paper. Okay, the schedule that I have sent to you last week, we have a research presentation on January 29, but a week before that, I want you to submit your final revision so I can also make some final edits. Okay, let me share with you first the schedule. Okay. So here is the schedule. So you remember your group mates. Group 1, today Miriam is not available, huh? But you can send her messages.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I have added the final revision day between the week of January 17 to 22. You can send your final revision for checking. So in preparation for our research presentation on January 29. When I mean final, this should not be the first time you are submitting your work. Okay, so between, let's say, if you have started, if you will start after today, no? So between next week until January 22, at least I should have made 2 or 3 revisions, or I should have seen your paper 2 or 3 times. Okay? So during the
Okay.
research presentation, there will be no um, other things to be edited. Okay. Would you like to go to our go to choosing our research work before we proceed with the discussion? Okay. So worksheet number 2, in worksheet number 2, I have added another topic, but I would like you to choose. Now, first, let us choose as a group, and then, okay. So there are 18, no? First, let us choose as a group. So let's say, let's choose 5, and then later we will spin again, no? So there will be two topics that will not be chosen among this. Okay, what are the top 5 that you want to work on? A topic that would be easier for
Entrepreneurship and
you.
online selling.
Which number is that?
Number 4.
Number 4, okay. Okay. Sige, let's choose 5, huh? And then later we will draw. Okay, anything else?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, po.
For our group po, we choose 3 topics po.
You
Yung
have chosen.
opo.
Okay.
I know, from all the 18, we
Mm-mm.
chose 3 na, kumbaga, recommendation po ng bawat isa. Ang top 3 po
Okay.
namin, ma'am, is number 1.
Okay, 1.
Opo, number 1, number 10, and number 14 po.
1, 10,
And 14.
and 14. Okay.
Yan po.
1, 10, and 14. Okay, anything else? How
Good
would
morning.
you,
Pwede po 17, embracing
yes.
managing
Actually,
changes in the workspace.
Actually, that's what I was about to say, because everyone's affected by all these
Yes, ma'am,
sudden
exactly.
shifts. Okay,
Thank you.
so you're welcome. Anything else?
And we have number 6 also.
Number
New
6.
normal leadership.
Wow, top 1 dyan, si Mayor Vico. Okay. Is that done?
Also, ma'am, sorry, number 7.
Okay.
Professionalism.
Yes. Professionalism. So we have 1, 4, 6, 7, 10, 14, 17. Any other choices before we do the name picker?
Ma'am, number 9 po.
Number 9. Aha. Yes, this is actually what we're doing. Okay? Done na po ba? 1, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. Do you have any other suggestions? Although we will be choosing 3 only, huh? 8. So we have 8 choices. 6, 8. Okay. Stop share for a while. Then let's do the name picker.
In.
Okay. Share ko sa inyo para okay. So we have, I'll just inputting numbers. 1, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 14, and 17. 2, 4, 6, 8 choices. Okay. So for group 1,
Wow.
Group 1. Okay. Ready? Group 1,
Group
ha?
1.
Bago. Ito na yung new normal, ma'am. Spin na lang.
Oh, group 1, number 1.
Hey.
Mental health. Okay. Remove name. Group 2. number 4.
Mhm.
And for group 3, it's number 17. Okay. Okay. So let's see. Mhm. Okay. So now group 1 will work on students' mental health. Group 2 will be on entrepreneurship and online selling. And group 3 is number 17, embracing transition, managing changes in the workspace. Okay? Were you able to take that down?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Or you want me to take a screenshot of it and then send to you or later? Later na lang. We'll do that later. Okay? Now let's proceed.
Students' mental health.
Yeah. So we have chosen topics for each group. Then it depends on you as a group to plan and schedule your time to research and write. And of course, add to your schedule how to schedule when everyone is available. Okay? And then conduct research. My suggestion is for you to divide the parts of your research work. So each one is concentrated on one particular part alone. And then later on, you put them all together and work as a team again. So you will be able to find out what else needs to be polished, what else needs to be um, uh, basically what is to be done in general, no, when you work as a team. And then draft your paper, revise and edit your paper. The first revision may be sent from next week until the week of January 17, until the week of your comprehensive exam. Now, after the exam, after the compre, you will be submitting your final revision in preparation for the research presentation on January 29. Okay? If you have any
So
other
yun na
questions,
yung ano namin talaga, yun na yung topic talaga namin.
yes. Nag-iisip pa ba kayo?
Unless,
Oo nga, number
gusto mo
4 kasi
pang
yung
ba-
gusto ko eh.
Okay.
Cecilia,
Bigyan.
exchange tayo.
Amin na yan. Pwede ka ba lumipat sa amin?
Ayan. Lipat ka na lang daw sa group namin.
Well, it's up to you to organize that among yourselves.
Pwede namang
Kasi
merong
yun yung
ano.
topic na gusto ko eh.
Okay. So sometimes
Pwede, pwede.
we are lucky. We are lucky to be given what we want.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Because
So,
this is
Pwede
actually
naman
more on...
negotiate.
Yeah.
Negotiate natin sa group.
Kung sinong tatanggalin sa isang group.
Sa grupo
Okay.
niyo, sinong gusto ng students mental health exchange?
Group 1 kayo, di ba?
Nag-exchange
5
tayo. Group
members
1.
kayo. Gusto mong tumiwalag sa grupo
You
mo.
can make one group 5 members.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Let's continue. So the components of a research paper. Okay. Yeah. Components of a research paper. So we have the title. Okay. So the title itself needs to be logical, brief, and grammatically sound. So in most universities, the working title alone undergoes deliberation. But in your case, we will not do that because it will add, or you will have additional time to work on that. But let's say, anytime you submit me your work, I will start checking from the title down to the last page. Okay, down to recommendations. And then authors and affiliation. So who are these? These are the members of the group. Okay, so your names are written below the title, followed by the indication of the institution to which the author belongs. So because we come from different institutions, we come from different industries, let us just settle on using Filipino Institute. Oh, well, actually, it's not the Filipino Institute, but it is the Filipino Institute Business School that we need to use. Okay, that is the institute where we belong under one umbrella of the Filipino Institute. Okay. Then the components, okay. Then the third one is abstract. The abstract should not exceed 200 words, and it basically contains the entirety of your research. So number one, what work the authors did, which is described in the paper. So the entire paper is a very lengthy discussion, very detailed discussion. You add all the figures, you explain all the figures, you explain all the results of your research work, but the abstract will not be as lengthy or as detailed as the research work. So the abstract serves as a summary of your research work. Like it's saying, summarize the research work in at least 200 words. Okay? What are the elements that you have to remember in creating your abstract? So what you did, you have to describe in the paper, and then how you did it. So what methods, or how did you go about the research, and then the key results. So numerically, if possible, because in your research paper, you add percentages, you explain in using textual explanations, right? But here in the abstract, you just as is. For example, you say 48% of blah 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 was found out to be like this. So as concise as possible would be the content of your abstract. And then the last part would be the relevance and impact of those results, which you take from the conclusion and recommendation part of your research paper. Okay? So, by the way, the key results should be taken from the discussion part of your research paper. So, you just have to indicate, like, if you deal with the importance of something or the significance of something, so the key results will be focused on how significant it is, and then what are the findings that would prove the significance of particular topic or a particular research. Okay? So more on abstract, we say it is not an introduction to the paper, but a description of the whole paper in a concise way. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a summary where you highlight all the relevant parts of your research. Okay, it must be written discursively, but not as a list of topics, no? Like normally we say when we are in the process of doing the research, we can use some bullets, we can use some phrases or words where we enumerate all our findings, where we enumerate all our ideas. But when you make your research paper, it has to be more, you have to be more detailed, you expound on ideas, while in the abstract, what you have expounded should be still summarized. Okay? So the topic should get into the subject straight off with no introductory circumlocutions or fill-in expressions. So as much as possible, you don't use as much adjectives, as much explanations as you did in your research work. So it must also be self-contained, that it can freely be reproduced in collections of abstracts, okay? And must not include any references. So basically we can say around 3 or 4 paragraphs will do for your abstract. Okay, so let's say the first paragraph, if you will be working on 4 paragraphs, first paragraph will contain your introduction, which includes your research objective and your um, research questions. And then the second one will be an introduction of your respondents, how many respondents, and then sample population. No? The third one would be discussion of your methodology, which includes your findings. So you start discussing the findings in the third paragraph, and the last paragraph will have your conclusion and recommendation. Okay. Now, a part of the abstract is number 4, keywords. So after you have presented your abstract, under your abstract, or right after the last paragraph, pick out keywords from your abstract that can describe your research. So what is the purpose of this keyword? So this is just to facilitate searching online. So for example, some people will be working on researches, and if you have published your own research, it will be made available online, so they can access your work through
It's like
the
the link.
keywords. Yes. Now, but just one keyword, like when you type a keyword, then every work that has that keyword will be may be used by another researcher. Okay, so at least you come up with 3 or 4 keywords. When we say keywords, so this must be very general terms, no, that will concisely describe your topic. For example, in group 1, you are working on mental health.
Mental
So you
student
can
mental health.
describe,
That will be like from K1 to K12 to until
yes,
college
that's right,
and
yes.
MBA, yeah.
Yes, it will be very, all the work with that keyword will be accessible to everyone working on the same type of research. So if you type mental health, so all the work that deals with mental health will be shown. So that is one tip or one clue that I will give you in order for you to be guided as you work on your research paper. You can start doing that in your own research paper. Okay?
Question.
Yes,
As
po.
per what you said, possible one word lang. But for example, it is not only one word. For example, consequences of mental health. Possible ba siya or hindi pa siya pwede?
So, what is the word again? Sorry,
So, usually po, nasabi niyo na po, naisip ko na rin siya, yung keyword is mental health. What
yeah,
if
yeah.
dagdagan po namin siya like consequences of mental health?
Okay. So, you are
Is it possible?
yeah, of course. You are limiting your
Okay po.
topic, right? Like for
Yes,
example,
ma'am.
if you want to know about a certain question, you can type in the question too. And then what will be sifted would be still in one sentence. They will sift one question,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
So, it's possible po.
Yes, yeah, it is. Even when you type a question, one
Sure, ma'am.
statement, one sentence, that will be
Yes, ma'am.
shown. Yeah.
That will serve
Okay.
as a keywords as well,
Yes,
like
that's
the
right. For as
question.
long as they can
Okay.
find a keyword within the text that you have typed, it will be showing you other related researches. Okay? So here, the last sentence says, a good rule of thumb is to choose a keyword you would use to find quickly on the web a paper exactly like yours. So if you want to limit the topic, if you want to be very exact with what you would like to find out, so stick with the keywords. Although sentences would also be uh, allowed, right? As long as it bears the same keyword. Okay? Number 5 is introduction. So what will you write on the introduction? It should characterize the context for the proposal presented in the paper and should describe the following. So you have the nature of the problem, the essence of the state of the art in domain of the paper with bibliographic references, but the bibliographic references come in the last part of your research after you have done everything. And then the aim of the paper and its relevance to push forward the state of the art, the methods used to solve the problem, the structure of the paper describing briefly its successive sections. Okay. Now, an introduction, generally, we fill a page or more, but not more than 2 pages for introduction. So first, introduce what the topic is. No? Why did you choose the topic? What is the significance of the topic? So let's say, okay, same as the abstract. Let's say you will be writing 4 paragraphs of your introduction. So first, what is the nature of the problem? So introduce why you have chosen the problem. What is the significance or the relevance of the problem? And then the next one would be how you go about with uh, the discussion or the methodology. It's like you are giving a bird's eye view of your research. No? And then the next one, so aside from the methods, you have to put for the discussion part, what the readers of your research work will be expecting from your work. And then conclusions and recommendations about the research problem. Okay, so that will be for your introduction. Okay, you have any questions so far?
Most probably, how many pages is the minimum for the research?
We cannot say any minimum page because it depends on the formatting that you will be using. Like
Because sometimes it depends on how broad is the topic also.
yeah, that's right.
So,
But the page itself, if you are following certain formats, which I will discuss later, no? There will be font size required, there will be spacings or marginings required, so I cannot tell exactly. Let's say from the researches that I have checked before with my students, so 20 pages would be not the maximum yet. Huh? It will be like, let's say, minimum of 20 pages because you have to follow certain style guide, spacing,
so if we
margin.
do, yeah,
Yeah, of course, you have to do
if
like
if we do
that.
interviews for the
Yeah.
students, do we really need to put their real name
No,
or
it's
no
optional.
need? No?
It is optional, yes,
Optional
that's right.
because
Yeah.
sometimes it's
But sometimes people
privacy.
write their own name and write their name, so it doesn't matter, right? Okay. Next one is, so the body of the paper. Okay. Body of the paper. So this is the description through various sections of all the relevant points of the work explained in the paper. So it is also used to refer to the collection of sections and paragraphs that make up the core of the paper. So basically, in the body of the paper, we start with the aims and objectives, and then methodology. Under the methodology, you have to identify the number of participants, the instrument that you're going to use, and the procedure. So there was a question raised earlier, no? What if you conduct an interview? Ayoni, I think it was from you. What if you conduct an interview? So within, among the papers that you have to submit is also the actual questionnaire that you are going to use without, it should be a blank questionnaire. Okay, and then later on, when you are conducting your interview, some colleges and universities also require that the questionnaires be submitted, but it won't be together with your research work. This will just be an additional this paperwork that you have to submit to get. This is just to verify that you have conducted this interview, and there are also some your thesis advisor. Sorry,
But maybe we
I
can
put it
fill
down
it
some.
in, no?
Yeah,
Just
but
in case,
it
if we have the questionnaire,
together. Yeah.
then
You
we know
can.
that we cannot reach them personally due to
Oh,
pandemic, so we can
yeah.
interview them online.
Yes,
And
or
then
you
we
can
will just be
send.
the one to fill up the form, whatever
That's
is the
right. Or you
answer.
can send the questionnaire to them and then let them send back the questionnaire to you. Okay?
Mm.
And then we say
Because sometimes
that,
it needs printer and
yeah, that's right.
so
Or
maybe we'll
no,
just ask them.
create. create a folder of your respondents, no? So let's say one respond, you can, if you have 20 respondents, no? So you, in one folder you will have 20 sheets of their questionnaires, and I might ask you to submit them as well, okay? Because these papers or these sheets are significant to verify the number or the demographic profile. Now, in this case, because you are not, you don't need to hire a statistician to do the work, no? Let's just do it by ourselves. It would be very costly if you hire statistician, but in an actual research, this is mandatory, no?
Because like we are 5 in the group,
Yeah.
maybe like even 4 student each
Mm.
member then of the group, then we
Then
can no,
compile your work.
we have no one, then it should always be from people from Philippines that we can always
Mm.
ask, so
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
online and we can just fill it in. But those questions that we're going to ask, we need to submit it to you first.
Yes, yes, oh yes, yes.
Approval.
Your question, your instrument. We call that instrument. Okay, so
Instrument, yeah.
from next week you can start doing that, no?
All right.
And
So
then
by next Friday, we will gonna submit those questions to you after you do
I would
already.
suggest not on a Friday because you have classes on Fridays, right?
Okay.
Not on a Friday, so you can concentrate on the next module, no? Anyway, ano na tayo, module 11, so how many modules to go? I want you to concentrate with the rest of the modules, but if you prefer submitting to me, it's fine, but you can just send it to me by email. And this email that I'm using is solely for Filipino Institute. So if you will be submitting anything, please send me a message by WhatsApp. So I'll be checking
Can
them.
send it to you through WhatsApp. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be
No,
better.
don't send the material. Don't send the paper through WhatsApp. Send it through email, and then let me know through WhatsApp that you have sent
Okay.
everything.
All
Okay?
right.
Okay. So as I was saying, so under methodology, you identify the number of participants or your sample population, and then your instrument would be your questionnaire, no, which I need to check before you conduct the process of the interview or process of research, and then what procedure or what process are you going to use to go on with your research work. Then under results will be, you have to specify the percentages of the most significant, the least significant, uh, from the findings from the findings that you have made. And then the discussion will be the impact of the results as a whole. Then after the discussions, we have the conclusion. Okay, so let's proceed to the conclusion. So the conclusion must be stated clearly and should cover a summary of what was achieved with the work described in the paper. So summarize your conclusion using, let's say, the most significant, the least significant. By the way, Elizabeth, yes? Elizabeth, you're raising your hand.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Miss Claire, just wanna ask if what would be the best first steps for us to do in conducting the research paper? Let's say, what would be the first thing that we should do as a group? For example, since we have already the topic to be handled, how should we proceed on the next step? Should we proceed and go the sampling, do the interview, or lay
No,
down
not yet. Send to me your questionnaire. So draft your questionnaire. No, the title itself can be submitted to me maybe a little later. No, not together with your questionnaire. So I would advise you to send me your questionnaire first. Use the Likert scale, no, to draft your questions or the statements. No, let's say maximum of 10 questions, no?
Okay.
So come up with 10 questions, or it can be 10, if you don't want to, for them to appear like questions, it can be they can be statements, they can be phrases, no? For as long as all of them would be relevant to the study that you would like to conduct. Okay, Marge, you're raising your hand.
It's okay, ma'am. It's already been answered. Actually, I would
Okay.
like to ask the number of questions that you already
Uh-uh.
answered. Thank you
So
so much.
let's limit to 10 because I know you are
Yeah.
not, you don't have the liberty of time to do it. But somehow, we can use 15 to 20 in an actual research. So, siyempre, pag mga student life, focus lang sa research. So for you, let's have at least 10. Okay? Yes, Ayoni? Ayoni, what's your
Parang
saying?
maybe if so we will be conducting research to students and they will be bored with so much
Yeah, that's right. No, it's not the students
bombarded.
who will get bored, but you,
Bombarded.
the researchers.
Hindi sila ba yung ini-interview namin
Ah.
sabihin, ang dami naman ito.
But that's why it's best for you to send the material.
Yes.
And then the interview, you remember our discussion last week. Present them the questionnaire, but if you want to know more about the topics that you would like to elaborate on, so you can use both open-ended and closed-ended methods, right? So if you want them to add more comments, or if you want to ask additional questions just to clarify on some points, you can do that. But I would suggest that send them this Likert scale that would make it easier for you to conduct your research. And then when you compile your work, when you compile your results, it will be easier as well. Okay, so for now, let's go to the easy side. Although in an actual setting, dapat hindi ganitong kadali. Right? Actually, alam nyo, a research work can be done, let's say, 6 months to 2, 3, 5 years.
Wow.
Yes, ganyan siya ka-rigid. Okay, pero sa inyo kasi hindi. We are just giving you a sample on how to do it. So this will be like, if you're going to push through with your PhD, so somehow you have already an idea how to do this. And a dissertation is a little harder and more difficult than a research paper, a thesis. Okay? And it's very costly too.
Kaya
Yes, okay. So the conclusion is an assessment of the advantages and limitation of the proposals presented in the paper. So you have to identify your research questions, and the research questions have to be answered under your conclusion part. So that means if the research questions were not answered, you failed in your research. Okay, so that means you have to really choose your material well, really choose your methodology well, and I would suggest the respondents as well. Okay, that's why we have items to be listed under demographic profile. If you want clarity in their responses, you have to choose anyone from the same profession or anyone who is somehow into this type of new normal education, or somehow if you have chosen the entrepreneurship on online selling, so your respondent should be, it's either the entrep herself or someone who is like a blogger of online selling. So ano pa? Buyers, would you consider buyers? Baka bogus buyer ang makuha. Okay.
Lahat
So
naman
that is
tayo
what-
buyer eh.
Yes, lahat tayo
Diba?
buyers. So you have to choose your respondents well. Although, let's say, in the actual setting, I would like to reiterate all the time na yung actual setting. In the actual setting, you may be given, or you may be asked to adapt a community. For example, o dito sa barangay na to, you have to conduct your experiment, or you have to conduct your research, and it's the statistician who will identify the number of respondents that you will have. For this time alone, itong sa MBA nyo, kayo na ang mag-choose kung sino ang magiging respondents. Okay, so we will just see if you will be very good in choosing who your respondents will be. Actually, yung life ng paper nyo depends on your respondents. Okay? Next one. So acknowledgements. So good paper often results from the commitment of many people beyond the authors. So these are members of the research team and friends of friends and colleagues who contributed in the success of your paper. So this commitment should be acknowledged in your acknowledgement page. Okay? So when the research activity leading to the paper is totally or partially financed by external institutions, their support should also be acknowledged even when they do not explicitly request it. So in short, we say that anyone who has helped you materialize your research work, your thesis, has to be properly acknowledged. Okay, even your parents, you can acknowledge them if they have contributed to the success of your paper. Do you acknowledge yourself? Do you need to acknowledge yourself? This is a question. Hello?
I
Do you
think
need to
yes, as a
acknowledge
I think so,
yourself?
yeah.
Huh?
I
yes,
think so.
as a facilitator of the
As a
research.
facility. Yeah, maybe because you're working as a group, you can acknowledge your group mates, no? But self-acknowledgement is not actually advised in this research paper. Okay? Next, number 9, references. So this is the list of papers, so book chapters, books, and other bibliographic elements that you have referenced or you have used throughout your paper. Now, this is like when you use researches of other writers. No, when you use the researches. So how do you choose um, the research work to use? Up to how many years can you use it? Up to what is the most recent year that you can use another person's research work? Ilang years? It should be,
Years?
yeah, at least. How many years? Yung back work, back date ng work.
5 years.
At least 5 years, no?
5 years.
But if there are no other researches that would match to this 5-year requirement, just choose the most recent one. Kaya lang baka mga 1978 pa, 1960s, ang mga research na pwedeng gamitin nyo, no? So they are no longer reliable. Okay, so aside from books, what else can you use? You can use journals, you can use newspapers, so you can also make use of other, even articles lang, no? They can still be used as a reference. Okay?
Google.
Yeah, Google. Okay, basta wag lang Wikipedia, ha? Okay. So the next one, so there are various referencing guidelines that exist. The question earlier was, how many pages are you required to submit? What is the minimum or what is the maximum? So I would say this depends on what methodology or what formatting are you going to use. So generally, we use the APA system, the APA format. So this is the American Psychological Association. It may be used or the guidelines of the journal or conference where one intends to publish his research work. So this is the most general format that is used. Now, how to create your APA style guide? So just follow this one. So start with the author's surname, then initial or initials. So for example, my name is Clarinda M. Estrella. So it will be Estrella, comma, C only, no? C and M. Okay, you will not write the full name. And then the date published. Okay, when is the research work published? then the title of the source, location of publisher, and then retrieve from which URL if you are using Google as your source. Okay? So you are easily guided by this slide when you use the APA reference. Okay? This is the most general formatting use. Okay? Now we have other formats, like these are the top 5. So what are these formats and who are using them? So we start with MLA. MLA means Modern Language Association. So this is used by English, literature, foreign language, communications, religious studies, no, who are conducting research on these particular aspects. And in general, we say this is the student's research paper. Kung nasa undergrad kayo, you will be using MLA. Okay? And then APA is for Americans, it means American Psychological Association. So as I've said, this is the one that we are using generally. So master's thesis will make use of the APA. So what are the fields that use these APA? So we have psychology, education, business/economics, nursing, and linguistic studies. Okay, the other one is Chicago. This is a style guide for American English. So if you deal with history, art history, fine arts, anthropology, and philosophy, I don't think anyone else will be doing this, no? Sa inyo, sa field nyo. Okay, then IEEE stands for Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineer. So from the term itself, this is used by engineering researches. Okay. And then CSE is the Council of Science Editors. This is science-based. So between MLA and APA, these are the ones that we can use in general, for general topics, but MLA is for student researches. So kayo, we will be using APA. Okay? So ito yung kanina, I told you that there will be certain differences in the formatting. So focus on APA alone, no? So your spacing would be double spacing. This is a comparison between APA and MLA. So for spacing format, double spacing, you can, nakaset up naman ng computer natin for double spacing. So you don't need to worry about this. Then font and margin format, so you can use Times New Roman, font 12 with 1-inch margin, top, bottom, and sides. Okay? Then in-text citation, which is direct. So let's say you have, you can do annotations that can be found directly after a statement. Unlike in MLA, it is written at the end of the paragraph, or at the end of the article. That's where you write your annotations. But itong APA, right after one sentence or even one word that you have taken from that particular author or from that particular researcher, you can immediately write his name plus the year that the work was published. If it is an article and there is no author or writer, you can just write the name, the journal, the title of the journal. Okay? Then bibliography name format. So you follow this as for your references. Then the order of citations must be chronological order for work and alphabetical order for authors. In MLA, same, but it should be alphabetical order, no? Itong isa chronological order. When we say chronological order, as the references appear in your research work. Okay, so that's how you will list them down as well. The header, for header, the title is written in capital letters, left aligned, while the page number is right aligned. So yung title left, the page number right, where? Up or down? Top or bottom, I mean?
Bottom siguro.
Bottom, yes, okay. And then, for the first page, it is used as a title page, so you don't write anything else there aside from your title, the name, and the academic institution. And then following the academic institution, okay, for example, so anong pangalan nyo? Jose de la Cruz, so let's say John Smith, and then put there under their names, Filipino Institute, and when did we make this research? Would you like to use 2020 or 2021? Since the presentation will be in 21, right? So we can use 21. Yeah. Bakit may ano sa 2020?
Oo nga, malas to
Malapit na Pasko.
Tapusin na natin.
Matatapos na yan. Okay. Oo, baka may pangit pang ano. Okay. Headings and subheadings. So they are, you are allowed to use subheadings, diba? From the earlier discussion, if you have a title, you can add a subtitle. Pero yung subtitle nito, hindi ito yung translations ng mga kay novela, ha? A subtitle will just be a very short explanation of your title. So ganito na lang, let's agree. If you will send me your title, I'll be working on that before you work. I'm going to work on the title as you work on your questionnaire or your instrument. Then later on, you will submit that as well. Para in process ang ating or may progress ang ating work. Okay? Let's not work by December. Let's not start the work by December because it will be too late for everyone. Okay? Yes, other questions? Remember, may exam tayo pagkatapos ito.
What?
Yeah, this is just a discussion for your research work. Then the finals will come up. Okay? So, additional considerations.
I'm sorry po.
Yes,
sorry po. But the exam or quiz would be regarding here, right?
No. Well, a little, but it's more on application. A little, just a little. It's more on application. Of course, I won't give you an exam like discussion now and then exam on this later. And then your finals.
So submit later.
Let's see.
Exam now, pero submit later.
Submit later.
After few days.
After few days. Within the day.
Kasi yung iba nagtatrabaho pa ngayon eh.
Talaga. Ako din meron pa eh. Within the day naman as much as possible. Kasi alam nyo yung concentration nyo na mawawala na. Kaya medyo... Sino ba? Do we have teachers among the group? Si Journey, trainer siya ng FI but not a teacher by profession, right?
Apo.
Do we have teachers from the group? Nan. Ako kasi teacher ako eh, kaya kaya dapat submit the paper, finish or not finish. Hindi, kaya lang we have to to set our time in whatever work we will do. Kasi after today, alam ko naman, Saturday, some of you will go back to work. Ako din, I have work on Saturday. So, makakalimutan na natin yan. And in the end,
at least we have evenings. I mean, so we have evenings, maybe we have Friday or Saturday.
When you see the test, no, you don't need 5 days to do that. I think you need until 5 o'clock for that. Until 5 o'clock.
Tomorrow. Consideration until tomorrow.
Mag-uusapan niya.
Tomorrow na lang ng gabi para at least may time pa to polish. Until tomorrow, tomorrow night, 11:59.
Tingnan natin. When you see the work, makikita niyo, you can assess if you need tomorrow or tomorrow and tomorrow. Or several tomorrows.
Because it might be a research as well that we
No.
interview you.
No. I can guarantee you it's not that. Okay. So we're done, no? We're done.
So we will be using EPA.
Yes, we'll be using EPA.
All of us.
Yes.
All right.
And then, so we have discussed all the significant parts of the research work. And then we will use APA. And then you will start working on your instrument. Now, as you go along with your paper, these are additional considerations that you have to remember. Number one is the language. Now, maybe in the past researches that you have made, you have hired a grammarian to polish your work. Is that right? So what is the
Proofread.
purpose of, yes, what is the purpose of hiring a grammarian?
To check
This
the
is,
grammar.
yeah, to check the grammar. Diyan ako kumikita nung nasa Pilipinas ako. Sa totoo lang. Yun ang malakas ang kita sa Pilipinas. And you know how my students, I worked in Lyceum of the Philippines University, you know, I taught there. And then I was among the research thesis advisors. So part of that work is to critique research work. Pero we can accept yung grammarian role from another college, you know. I was part of the College of Arts and Sciences. So pwede lang ako kumuha dun sa ibang colleges like yung mga hospitality or engineering. So minsan, 'di ba, we expect that because they are yung number based, no, figure based, hindi sila masyado, sorry, naka-record pala to. So, let's say, yung language itself, they can present all the facts, they present all the details, but putting them in context, it's not that easy for them. And plus the fact that the university requires at least 2-3 readings of the paper. So they have to pay for each reading. So that's why I told you, yeah, medyo kumikita ng kaunti dyan. Mas malaki pa sa sinusweldo namin as teachers. Okay. So, number 2, relevance. The paper must be clearly relevant to the audience of the journal or conference where one intends to publish it. Okay. So, when we say relevance, it should be an updated work, a fresh new work, fresh new idea. But because we can also refer to previous researches, the purpose of using the previous researches is to conduct an additional research, like an improvement of the past researches. So that's the reason why we use why we refer to other researches done in the past. Okay. Number 3 is rigor. Okay, when we say rigor, you have to be exact, you have to be careful in all your declarations in your research work. So every single claim of the paper must be fully supported by empirical or analytical evidence. Okay. When I mentioned that you have to submit your instruments, the purpose of the submission is to verify, like, the number of respondents you have. No, we are really counting the pages. No? And then for the demographic profile, we are really checking, like you have indicated that you have 25 respondents, and then what are their professions, what's the gender. We are really checking them. And when I say we, no, I have a team that does the checking, and the team reports, like, if there are flaws in the figures that you have mentioned, or the figures that you have declared. That is another way by which we reject the paper. So kailangan lahat may basis, lahat with yung profound details, no? So we are not just creating the research just for compliance with our requirements of the course, no? But let us do it honestly, with all our best efforts to win the title. Alam niyo, yung winning the title, yun ang importante sa inyo, right? Naalala ko
Pero
yung
yung
first day natin. Yes po. Okay.
yung title talaga, I mean, topic namin yun talaga yun.
Yeah.
Yun yun.
Ayaw mo pa.
Just only how are we going to
Hindi mo pa rin tanggap
Pronounce
talaga
our-
na napunta sa amin ng online selling eh.
Joke
Negotiate
lang.
mo si Sheena.
Okay, pag online selling, sino ba? Oh, you can refer to Miss Jamie. She has an online business. You can ask her. You can make her one of your respondents.
I'll
May
make her
online
do the
business
whole
siya.
research.
No. She won't do that for sure. You can make her as a respondent. Okay. Sino pa ba nag-online selling dyan? Mga top online sellers sa UAE. Okay. But ito, madali lang nga yung online selling kasi everybody gets into online selling, especially during
Yeah.
the time of
Pandemic.
pandemic. Yeah. Okay. So, ayan, as well as what I've said, it should be exact and you have to be careful in all your pronouncements. Then number 4, abstract. Okay, so this is a summary of your work in 200 words at least. If you would like to increase the number of words, you can do so, but not as more than 400 words. So maybe limited to 200 to 350 words like that. Okay? Next is introduction. Okay, we have discussed the introduction earlier. What is the significance of drafting your introduction well? If on my personal belief, this should be the best part of the paper that is well written. Why? This is how you will motivate your reader to go on reading your work. And dito yung motivation talaga. Okay?
So you
in
need
the
to catch the
introduction,
attention
yes,
talaga.
yes, that's right. Or otherwise, they will say, oh, alam ko na yan. Okay. So it needs to grab the interest of the reader from the first sentence into the second and third and so on. So this will create the motivation for anyone not from our profession or anyone from another field to be interested reading our research work. Okay? So the last part says, this means that there is no point in writing the introduction or producing the final version of the abstract of a text that we do not know yet how it is going to become. Okay, what does it say? After writing the title, do you work on your introduction? I would say yes. You may start with the introduction, but you cannot complete the introduction if you have not completed your research work. Remember what are the parts? Okay, so you start with your aims and objectives. So you can write that because this is the beginning part of your body, right? Then you can work on methodology. Then for a while you are doing your research, you can stop from that point. Now conduct your research, and whatever is the result of your research, okay, go back to your introduction page. Then write a paragraph about your results and discussions. Then the last part of your introduction would be your conclusion and recommendation. If you have not made your conclusion or recommendation, don't finish off your introduction. So among all the pages of your research paper, it would be the introduction and the abstract that would be written last. Okay? They are written the last ones among all. Although, ganito, the title, we say it's a working title, no? So from time to time, we may change the title, depends on your discoveries in your interviews, or depends on your discoveries from the responses of your respondents, no? So that's why we call it working title. Pwede natin palitan ng palitan, but don't say, ano ba yan si ma'am, papalit ng title. The title itself depends on the heart of your research. Okay? So pwede natin palitan yan up to 5 times. So I would suggest, pwede kayong, you can send me working titles, at least give me 3 to 5 titles that we can use, and then for a while, you can keep those titles with you until you are done with the conduct of your research. Okay? Nahirap ba?
Medyo.
Medyo. Hindi pa yan. Okay. Hindi pa yan mahirap. Okay, so this one, conclusion. So, as what I've said earlier, no, conclusions and abstract would be the last to be written. Do not hurry in writing your conclusions because this will be the basis of your research. So, ito na yung parang were you able to meet the objectives that you have set at the beginning of the research? And the conclusion would also give your readers a fresh view, or as we say, a fresh mind about this topic that you work on. And lastly, it creates a lasting favorable impression in the mind of the reader. So pag nakita mo ang conclusion, yeah, so this is the part when they would agree or they will refute any findings that you have made. So in this part of your after conclusion, you have recommendation. A part of the recommendation say you are giving authority or you are giving your permission for another author or another researcher to conduct a research similar to yours. Okay? And then you will see in the future that they will be using your work as a reference. But of course, itong MBA thesis nyo, we will not be publishing it. It will solely be for the use of Filipino research. Now, by the way, in our first batch, ano ba yung first batch namin dito in Qatar, we have used, ano ba yung kanilang paper? Customer service. It's about customer service. I forgot the actual title. So it's about the customer service or self-satisfaction. Here, okay. So this is the student satisfaction level on the services and offers, student satisfaction level on the services and courses offered at the Filipino Institute, Binamran. We have only 6 students in Binamran campus. That's why we just allowed them to work as a team. So yan, okay naman ang result. Masaya naman si Sir Gabo sa result. Okay. Next. Okay, self-referencing. I remember I asked you if you're going to indicate your name among the acknowledgements, no? So that would be under self-referencing. So for us, as much as possible, we avoid yung pagbuhat ng sarili nating bangko, right? Okay, so that is unnecessary in any research work, no? Now, what we can do is, let's say, if our achievements in life would be very significant to be added as part of the references, we can, or like we have researches in the past that were published, or we had written articles or books that can be used as references for our research work, we may do so. And that's where we can include ourselves. Okay? So in the end, we say the author's former work is essential to understand the paper. It should be by all means be referred to, but this should be done with discretion and elegance. So sana hindi siya mag-a-appear na nagbubuhat lang tayo ng bangko. Or we just want to show off of our achievements and yung mga successes. Okay? And thank you. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Okay. Okay. So may tanong. So ito na ang now it's also sa inyo 12. We can start with can I see your faces, all of you? Okay, we can start If you want an offline exam, it's fine with me. But sana within the day. Who's working today? Who else has worked today? Hmm? Wow, si Karen, nasa San Francisco. Okay. So, who else among you are working today? Papakita ko naman sa inyo yung exam. So we can decide whether we can work online. Okay? Tignan natin. So hindi na ako magbibigay ng break time. Right? So if you decide to go online, kasama ng break time niya dun. Tama ba ako? Do you have any questions in the conduct of your research before we proceed with the exam?
Term ko lang po. Bali yung sa sinabi niyo po, meron na kaming topic. So, hindi na namin siya, pwedeng yun na siya or kailangan pa namin sabihin.
Ah, yes, of course. You have to create your title. Remember our Likert scale, di ba? Meron kang approval, meron kang agreement, meron kang satisfaction. So you can start drafting your title based on those topics. Submit to me your title, then I will work on that and I will guide you on doing that. Or if you want, you can start surfing the net for possible titles, pero wag naman exactly a copy of the titles that were previously worked on. Okay? Ano lang,
So,
just to give you an idea.
Yung topic namin, hindi pa rin yung title namin.
No. Ano lang siya, that is just a topic.
It's just a topic.
That is just a topic. That is just suggested topic. And then work on a title. Okay?
Okay.
Work on a title.
Wala ka ma'am, yan na po yung title namin. Sabi ko, at least may bonus lang isa.
Ano yung ba? Anong number ba yun? Actually,
Number one kami. Kala ko nga, yun na talaga eh.
No, if you have chosen.
Sabi ko, at least
Pwede
one
naman,
down.
di ba?
Oo. Hindi, mag-specify kayo because it's a very broad topic.
Yes.
So, like number one, which aspect of mental health or students' mental health would you like to work on? Marami. Like mental health saan? In schoolwork, in homework, online teaching. Sa amin, nagkakagulo ng mga estudyante. I want to go back to school.
Yeah, but it should be based in the new normal, right? So, current
Yeah.
situation talaga siya.
That's right.
Online,
Let's be
modular.
abreast with the current trend. So ito yung current trend. So, and I think you will have lots of references. You will be able to serve different types of references, not only yung refereed researches, but yung mga current, let's say may mga current yung depth ed curriculum, if you want to focus on the education itself, like yung role of the parents, if you would like to focus on blended learning, di ba? Marami siyang aspects.
Kasi may yung modular, blended, online. But
Yes,
we can tackle the three. Is fine or only
agree with your group mates. If I would say 3, baka mahirapan kayo. Just focus on one and then that one choice must be part of your working title. Limit your research. Mahirap kayo, especially you won't be able to work together talaga. Same timings, except si Lionel, sinong kagrupo niya, all from UAE. Ang Bahrain, follow same time as Qatar. Yeah. Qatar and Bahrain, same. UAE, pare-pareho naman kayo. Lionel, +5. So ngayon,
Nasa Pinas din po ako ngayon.
Sino nasa Pinas?
Sino nasa Pinas?
Ako po. Nakauwi ko lang kahapon.
Sinong
Opo.
nakikita? Rona? Oh, wow. Are you on quarantine?
Yes, ma'am. Home quarantine as of the moment.
Oo, home quarantine. So si Miriam, nasa UK siya, -2 hours from Qatar. So ano, sinong groupmate ni Miriam?
Kami.
Kami po.
Sana wag si Lionel. Kasi pag si
Group
Lionel,
1.
7 hours.
Kawawa yan si Lionel dati. Kagrupo ko yan.
Oo, may hirapan siya. Siyempre,
Kagrupo namin dati.
Siyempre, kailangan i-consider din natin yung availability ng lahat. Pero, since nag-start na kayo, ituloy na natin. Wala nang ano tawag dito? No backing up. No backing out. Okay? Buti nga, madali lang ang sistema natin. Ako, I have taught master's class din, pero MAED ang tinuro ko kasi MAED naman ako. I have taught master's class din nga sa Lyceum of the Philippines University. Medyo mahirap siya kapag mga teachers lahat ang kasama mo. So, si Jamie MBA, si Angie, si Angeline is public siya. Kaya medyo mahirap pagka yung same profession ka. Mahirap. Pero kayo madali lang. Sama-sama tayo together. Tsaka very limited lang yung mga magiging attack natin sa mga requirements like this kasi we have to finish by Feb ba kayo? Feb or January? Until January?
Feb.
I think Feb kasi yung research presentation is 29. I think February. Okay, so by that, yung MBA nga namin dito, hindi pa sila nakapag-graduate. Nabutan ng pandemic. Graduation namin pero hindi. Mag-open na kami. Face-to-face starts on September 18. So next week na siya. And then, during the graduation of the first batch, yung short courses, kasabay sila. Including yung international diploma courses. Okay? So, dapat ang graduation nila is March 13, yung bagta ng pandemic, nag-start na March 11. Okay, I'll show you your finals if you are ready. Huwag kayong nervousin. Hindi ito mahirap. Okay. I will send to you by email. Okay, let me just discuss. So, ayan siya. Define research and state its significance. Now, I will be sending you a Word document. No? So, define research and state its significance. So, you can just answer right below. So, then number 2, give 3 points. Just one more. Give 3 points to... Okay, so number 2 is give 3 points to differentiate quantitative research from qualitative research. So you know that very well. Tama ba? You know that very well. So what I mean by 3 points is identify the aspect by which you would like quantity and quality to be compared or contrasted. Okay? So you can write your answer below. Then number 3, convert the data in the graph below into a Likert scale model. So this is the number of respondents. Then this is our raters. And then the indicators will be enterprise in blue, budget in red. So you just have to identify here what's the number of people who strongly agree, neutral. Okay, that's easy. You just need to read the graph. And then what follows is analysis of the highest lowest ratio and the most significant digits between the two indicators. So you have to look here among these items. No? By the way, you have to indicate here the number of respondents. And then as you analyze, you can say from the number of respondents, how many number of respondents? how many stated strongly agree, how many neutral, and then you have to identify why, okay, part of this would be making or creating your conclusion on why do you think a certain number of people agree on this enterprise aspect, no? And then when it comes to budget, ano ba to? Ang daming nagpa-pop up. When it comes to budget, let's say what is the most significant digit or what is the least significant digit. So ano lang siya. You have to specify yung mga importance, no, yung relevance of the indicators plus the responses stated by your respondents. Okay? So you can write your answer below dito. Of course, mag-move yung pages na yan, ha? Okay, number 4 is identify the indicator tested in each survey question using the response set below. So remember, when I presented the Likert scale, no, natandaan niyo yung Likert scale, there are 10 indicators. Ito. Frequency, quality, intensity, agreement, approval, awareness, importance, familiarity, satisfaction, and performance. Meron pa kayo ng Likert scale. That was, I shared that with you in the PowerPoint last week. Or if not, I will send it again to you. Meron pa kayo, no? Okay. So, what are these statements and questions for? So, for example, letter A, can you correctly state the philosophy for the new normal education? What is being tested in this question? Is it frequency, quality, intensity, agreement, approval, performance, satisfaction, familiarity, importance, or awareness? So your answer will be based on these indicators. So walang joker dyan. Lahat yan will be used to answer all these 10 items. Okay?
Ang ilalagay namin is either
Yes,
awareness siya or
yes, that's right. These words, these indicators, okay? So you just need to read them, understand them, because some of them are maybe overlapping with other indicators. So you have to be very concise with your choice of indicators. Okay?
May,
So we
may
can
ano ba na
select.
meron
may
bang
ano?
like isang question na dalawa or tatlong
No.
Select
All
only
of
one.
them, all of them.
Only one.
But
Only one. Okay.
but somehow, let's say, it can cause you confusion on answering a certain item. Now, what I would like you to, bakit ba gumaganito?
Hindi pwedeng select may that may be applied or something ganyan.
No. Okay,
Or
so
more.
what do you need to do is answer first what you are very sure of. And then, just go back to the items later. Kaya naman lagi, di ba? Okay. Is number 4 clear?
Okay.
Kailangan niyo ba ng 5 days for this? Yes, Elizabeth. Wag, hindi. Joke lang yun. Elizabeth, yes.
The number
4 days.
4 days.
Pwede ba 3 days? Kahit 3 days, ma'am.
Ayan po question, Elizabeth.
For the number 4 po, yung listed indicators, siya po yung choices namin to answer
Yes,
the
yes, that's right.
And then
That's
do we
right.
need to elaborate the
No.
answers? Just to
Just
indicate.
to indicate the word, for example, letter A, this talks about, this is a question on frequency, so your answer will be frequency.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? So, hindi kailangan ng 4 days dyan. Next. Number 5. Okay. 5, you need to compute. Arrange the following data from lowest to highest. So, you did this last week, no? Then, calculate their mean, median, mode, and range. Show your answers. So, these are the numbers. These are the digits. And then, place the order here. From, anong sabi? Lowest to highest.
Lowest
Baka
to
magkamali
highest.
kayo ng pag-order.
Ma'am, yan lang po yung masasagot ko today.
Yes, ma'am. Yan lang po yung
Ako
madali.
din, ako din.
Correct.
Wow, ang humble
Kahit nauna.
naman.
Ganyan na lang.
Humble naman talaga.
Pwede po ba yan na lahat?
Yan na lang.
Hindi, kaya niyo yan. Just
100%
believe in
yung weight na
yourself. Parang ano ka, hindi kasi kayo nagti-t-shirt ng ng FI. Ayan kaya ko. Ayan, okay. So, I want you to show your answers here, no? Kasi baka nag-guess lang kayo to answer. Okay, so first, arrive at the order from lowest to highest, then identify the mean, bakit median, and mode. Mean, median, and mode. Okay? So, that's the end of the test. Yan lang, kadali. But don't forget that you will have your compre also.
Yung question na, yung sa number 3, pwede pa balik po yung screen.
Just one moment. Kasi sinave ko yung
Sige.
Ang dami yung lumalabas na Okay. Number 3, here, it's, naka-post na naman. Yan, okay. Number 3.
A little bit.
What is
Go
the
down a
question?
little bit. Yeah. Yung number of correspondence, kami na ang bahala nun? Or
Ito siya. Ito.
ito na lang. Based na lang dyan sa sa graph.
Based on the graph. Yan lang ang question.
26 ba yan?
Number 3 and 5 lang. Okay.
Okay. Ito naman, based on your understanding, actually, you don't need to surf the net about this. Alam niyo na. I would love you to write down how you understood the lesson.
Okay.
Kasi mas madali yan kaysa sa mag-surf kayo. Okay? Any other questions? So we will go offline.
Tuesday or Wednesday?
You are my masters. Wag naman Tuesday. May work din ako.
Sige, Monday last. Tawad-tawad lang. Monday.
Ano ba yan? Lahat Monday?
Monday na. Lahat.
Parang tapos na si Elid ngayon Sura, tapos na si Lionel, nagko-compute na. Hindi pa ba? Okay. Sige, let's agree. Which day would you like? Kasi I know by when is your next teacher will be Miss Jamie, so she'll be sending another lesson. Kaya medyo makakompress na naman ang mga work na. Not later than Tuesday.
May bislan pa nga po
Oh yeah, may business
Monday.
Not later than Tuesday. So yung Monday.
Okay.
Everyone is amenable to Monday. Tapos na nag-raise na ng hand. Tapos na daw siya. Okay. Okay ba, Huda? Are you with us? Okay sa'yo ang Monday?
Yes, ma'am, Monday. Okay.
Okay, sige. I'll send to your email and then before we go offline, I want you to confirm receipt of the test. So again, please use MBA final exams. The way you receive the exam, the final exams, doon na lang kayo mag-reply. Okay? So Maria Eli, Karen Ann, Espiritu Cristina, Jovelyn, Marge, Sheena, Aicol, Journey, Elizabeth, Leonel, Yoni, and Rona. Okay? Everyone's in the list? Okay. Do you want me to send the schedule? So I'll be sending the schedule as well, so you are guided, huh? Okay, first is final exams. Okay. Then I will send the schedule as well. Module 11 schedule. Do you want the worksheet to be sent o meron na kayo?
Kahit sa WhatsApp pwede na.
Oh. Now, the finals I have sent to everyone's email, pero when you send me, reply to me alone, ha? Huwag reply to all. Okay?
Okay.
Have you received it? So, I sent the final exams and the schedule. Not yet?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sige, confirm nyo lang kung na-receive nyo na all, and then we can go off.
Receive na po.
Receive na. Sino pang hindi?
Receive po.
Receive na po.
Okay.
Receive.
So everyone receive it. As
Yeah,
per
email.
my agreement with Miriam, because mag-o-offline naman tayo, I will be giving her the same exam. Kaya hindi ko siya sinend sa WhatsApp. So she won't be, she cannot access it this time. No? So I will give her one more day. So if your submission is Monday, hers will be on Tuesday. Okay? Sa kanya lang, special kasi ano na nga siya? Migrant visa ata siya. Something like that. Sunod na tayo.
Ito na siya. For good pala.
Migrant visa siya. So, maganda naman ang napuntahan. But she's willing to finish the...
Continue.
Yes, she's willing to continue. Malay mo naman next, after this, kayo naman. Okay. Who else has not received the email? Joby, naka-off pang yung video. Oh, what time on Monday? What time on Monday pala?
11:59. 11:59.
Don't dare me. Lagi ako naka-online.
11:59.
Oh, basta before.
Monday pa yun
bago matapos ang petsa na yan. Pero maaga natatapos ang araw sa inyo at saka sa Pilipinas. Ano, 11:59 Qatar time? Sige na, basta I will count on your words. No problem. So, dapat perfect yan, ha? Pagka Monday. Okay po, sige. Have a nice day, everyone. So, enjoy your Friday.
Thank you po.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question you would like to ask? Nagbababay na sila. Huda, magpakita ka naman kasi hindi ka nila yata nakita pa. There you go. Oo. Baka distant.
Unahin na lang po muna namin is questionnaire. Tama po?
Oo, yeah. And then, questionnaire saan? Finals? Finals?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
For submission.
The finals, yes, for submission on Monday. And then you can start working by groups. I would love to hear from you at least by next week before Friday about your working title. No, title lang naman siya. Then from time to time we can revise the title as you go on with your research findings and discussion. Okay, so hindi Huda. Bakit Huda ang pangalan dyan? Ako nga Gabriel.
Ano ma'am, yung mobile ko yung gamit.
Okay.
Yung laptop gamit ko, so iba yung...
Christina. Okay. So, di bale, at least nakita namin ang face mo. Okay. Anything else you would like to ask? We will go offline.
Okay na po.
Okay na? Sige, ingat kayo. Stay safe. God bless everyone. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Salamat.
Linda.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank
Enjoy the
you.
weekend, guys.
Kayo din. Thank you.